introduction. And also, I'd like to thank the Nigerian IT professionals in Canada, and especially the visionary leaders, the executives, the volunteers for this group. I really, really appreciate putting this together. When I arrived in Canada a long time ago, this was not possible. So I have to do everything on my own and make a lot of mistakes and so on. You'll be able to know more about that. As I was saying, my name is John Adeyefa. Sometimes you can reach me on Telegram at John Cybersecurity. I have a lot of slides to show this evening. I have about 30 slides, but I hope you'll be able to go through everything together and then questions after that. This is just a little bit about me. I started my computer training in 1978 in Ottawa. I have my first computer 1980, and I built IBM PC comparable. I owned a computer shop in Winnipeg around 1985 to 1989. I started in fiber optics networking, working for some of the big companies those days called Newbridge, Nortel, Sienna, and all that. I was trained in fiber optics, and I work all over the world, all the continents. In Asia, I work in Japan on several projects, linking city to cities. I worked in Europe, almost all the cities in Europe, all the countries in Europe, connecting them with fiber optics. I also work in South America, from Brazil to Argentina. I did a lot in cyber internet, satellite internet. I also work with Rogers and Bell. And I started my career in cybersecurity and cloud security just about 6 years ago, working for the government of Canada. I'm a consultant for the government of Canada. I'll be able to tell you how to work different type of works in the government, how to work in the government in different classifications. I'm the past president of the Nigerian Canada Association in Ottawa. I'm also the president of the African Canadian Association in Ottawa. And I'm the diaspora relationship manager for Sterling Bank. I will be able to tell you maybe more probably during the question period. My aim today is mainly to educate, to motivate, and prepare for the future new set of African descents with ambition that's really want to make more than average income and to fulfill a career in cyber and cloud security. I want to let you know that there is a huge demand out there. A career in cloud, in the landscape of IT, cloud engineering, design skills, it's all in high demand right now. Companies are looking at how costs can be reduced on infrastructure and how they can move from capital expenditure to operational expenditure. And even during this lockdown period, it makes a lot of companies and governments to see that the only way to go is in the cloud. The trend right now, it's all in the cloud. Job market is filled with skill sets that relates to cloud, a multi-cloud migration, and skills in infrastructure as a code, using tools like Terraforms and Ansible. Those are what is in big demand right now, and especially if you're into cloud database, autonomous database, AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and big data, all these work together. And I'd like to let you know that there are three main predominant players in this field. And it's important to have the knowledge and to do certification in any of these big players. It is the key to having a job where the sky is the limit. The Amazon Web Service AWS is one of the biggest, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. These are the main three players. However, there are some other players which are coming along. One of them is the IBM Cloud and also Oracle Cloud. If you do a Google search just to see how much can you make if you work in cloud cybersecurity, the compensation, it is very good. I did the search. For Ontario, this is what I was able to find. And I don't know if this is true. The reason I'm saying this is most of my colleagues in this field, most of them do not take less than 3 figures per hour. This is what it's out there when I did a search for what is available yesterday. And some of you might agree with me. Some of them might say, oh, it's average or whatever. But there's a lot of demand. And the key to get into this is to have a certification with any of these 3 giants out there. The AWS Cloud Practitioner, it's in big demand. Companies, government agencies are looking for professionals that have the basic skills that can help them to migrate from on-prem data center to the cloud. An AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner is the beginner-friendly certification of AWS, and you could make average annual salary of $131,000. This is US dollar when I was doing the research. It's also good to, once you have the basic, which is the beginner, the cloud practitioner, you can step up to something more, to specialize in either a solution architect or to go for more professional certification or even security specialty or big data specialty or advanced network in this field. AWS is one of the biggest actually, but there's also Google Cloud. It's really getting out there and it's one of the highest paid right now if you have the Google Certified Professional Cloud Architect. This one is the beginner. And if you pass the certification, you could be expected to be making $176,000 a year. You can make more if you can go into what is called a multi-cloud. I might touch about that later on. We also have the Microsoft Azure Fundamentals. It is the easiest Microsoft certification. Most of these certifications cost you very little. To sit for it, $100. Sometimes you can get it for free. If you attend any Microsoft event or seminar, you can get this certification exam free without paying anything. And if you pass, you could be expecting an average salary of $127,000. To get into working for government agencies, you need to have a level of clearance, security clearance. It's very important. Without any of this clearance, you cannot work for the government of Canada. This clarification, the Clearance is free. You just have to get someone to sponsor you. And you can get any of the employment agency that deals with the federal government. They will sponsor you to get this certification. There's different level of certification that depends on what type of job you can get and the department you can work in. We have level 1, which is the base clearance to have. It's called enhanced clearance. We have a step up, level 2, which is secret clearance. With secret clearance, you can work on most cyber secured location and cyber secure projects and enter many of the secured buildings with this type of clearance. There's also level 3, which is called the top secret. There's some projects that require you to have top secret. There's a lot of job, starting from level 2 to level 3. Level 4, it's very rare. Level 3, mainly people that needs to work on sensitive projects. And the last level, level 4, is called NATO secret. These are different clearance level. It's important to have this before you could be considered to work for the government. And there are 3 different types of employment that you can have. You can be an employee. You can be on a term position as an employee, and you can be a consultant. The difference is, employee is you work permanently or on a part-time for any of the government departments. There is no end date. You work, you're an employee, and you can work for the rest of your life. The government of Canada is very, very safe. It's a safe place that most people work for 30 years or more and they retire. If you do your work well, there's no risk of losing your job. We also have the term position. Term position employee, you are like an employee. You have all the rights and benefits of employee. However, there is an end date to your employment. It could be 6 months, it could be 1 year, it could be 3 years, but there is end date. At the end of the term, you could be renewed, or it could be the end of the term position. The last aspect is consultancy. Consultancy, you must have a lot of experience, minimum sometimes 10 years experience to be able to work as a consultant. You are considered an expert in a field and you are paid for your knowledge, your skill, your experience. A lot is expected from you as a consultant. Consultancy, you can make a lot of money. You need to have a registered company to work as a consultant. You work with government contract agencies. There's so many of them, and they compete for government projects. Most projects can last for 3 months or a year or multiple years, renewable at the end of the fiscal year. The government fiscal year starts always at April 1 and ends March 31st. Employee, you can get a job by just going to the Canada job site, federal government job site. There's so many jobs listed. You can apply. Sometimes you can be put in a pool And from the pool, HR departments will now look whoever is in the pool that meets their requirements, and they call you for interview, and you're hired. Time position is almost the same way. Just they put a deadline, end date. Consultancy, it is not a permanent position. It is through agencies. If you have your own agency, you might even go direct. And if you win, it's through by bidding. And there's a lot of work out there for people with skills. And through consultancy, you have to go through what is called grid for each project. You fill out grids, you list all your experiences or your projects. And if you're lucky, you are called to work on projects. And so many of my colleagues work on multiple projects, 2, 3, 4, 5 projects at the same time. It's even better because at this time of COVID, people work from home. You may have a lot of questions, but wait till the end to answer more of your questions. How do you get into this field and career? When I got into cybersecurity, there was no place to learn about cybersecurity. I did all my learning through meetups, and there are meetups almost every city. There's so many different groups at meetups. There are cybersecurity groups. There are something called OWAPs. OWAPs is a group of people with skills. Sometimes we call them the white hat hackers. They are the one that thinks like a hacker and stop hackers and look for loopholes to block before hackers hit. They are called the Open Web Application Security Project. OWAPs is available almost every city. I started with OWAPs. I learned from most of the experts. Every month we meet physically. During this period of COVID, you can meet virtually. And if you do a search for meetups on meetup.com, there are so many groups. You can attend virtual on different topics. Like here, there's a topic actually this week, data analysis challenges in cybersecurity. AIM, which is very, very common. I will go into some of those things later on. Different groups you can learn from. It's all free. You don't have to pay anything. I would recommend learning, online learning too. You can learn a lot using YouTube. There's nothing which is not available these days on YouTube. When I started, after I was able to be confident, the first job that I applied for, I got it. I was employed to work in what is called the Security Operations Center. And this is where all the various different, you do monitoring of different alerts, different incidents from all over the world on any system. It's a place to start. SOC, it's another area. Cybersecurity has so many areas. I'll be able to get into some of that very, very soon. There's a lot of things that you need to know in cybersecurity. We have something which is almost like a Bible that we go with. It is a framework that was developed by an organization which is called NIST, which is the National Institute of Standard and Technology. It's a US organization. They develop a risk management cybersecurity framework, and that framework is considered like a Bible of what has over 1,000 security controls. These controls were leveraged for the Canadian aspect of the NIST is called the ITSG-33, and it has almost 1,000 security controls. I will be able to let you know that this guideline, ITSG means the Information Technology Security Guideline, and it covers so many different controls, and you only need to be specialized in one field. You don't have to know everything in cybersecurity. Just take an area and specialize in it. It's important, like what we do in cybersecurity is based on what we call the CIA. CIA means confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Confidentiality means that data, objects, and resources are protected from unauthorized viewing and other access, while integrity means that data is protected from unauthorized changes to ensure that it is reliable and correct. And lastly, availability means that the authorized user have access to the system and the resources they need. So these are the triage that we use in cybersecurity. Anything that you put in charge, you have to make sure of the CIA. In cybersecurity, we have, like I mentioned before, right now as of today, more than 1,000 security controls. And these are in different families. I don't want to go into any of this so that not to bore you with the technical stuff. You just need to specialize in one area. You can be specialized in identity and authentication management, which was what I mentioned earlier, IAM. It's a big field. It has to do with access control. It's an area. Or you can be into what is called the incident response. Whenever there's a hacking attack or an attack on any system or any business or anything at all, the first thing is to call the people to do an incident response so that they can find out how much damage and all kind of stuff. There's also a big field in what is called the awareness and training. Like what I'm doing now is almost like creating awareness and training about cybersecurity. It's a big field as well. The area that I specialize in is called the security assessment and authorization, SA&A. It's a big field. There's not too many people in this field. What I'm showing you right now on the screen, it's what it's all about ITSG-33, which make up of so many controls. And these are different families of those controls. Another area which is big is what we call the risk assessment. This is where you do what we call the vulnerability assessment, to do a scanning of a system, of an application, of a platform, of a network for any threat, any risk, any hole in software, any malware, any misconfiguration. This is a big field to be able to do VA scan, vulnerability assessment. You just have to be specialized in one of these and you can make a lot of money. And there are demands. in all this. You need to know about attacks, cyber attacks. Attacks comes in different ways, either online or offline, using social engineering. And some of this could be computer-based or even your cell phone. Or sometimes not just the cell phone, but human-based to convince you to release an information. And one information or put together with another information could be all needed to be able to get into your bank account, clean up the account, and all kinds of stuff. So for someone in this field, you need to know, you need to think, just like the people that wants to destroy. But your job is to protect that this doesn't happen. There are different attacks. There's something that we call phishing. There is normally through email. There's what we call the spear phishing, which is mainly targeted to big people, important people in authority, presidents of organization, or people in key position. We also have whale phishing, not just spear phishing. We have phishing, which is through like a call center trying to convince you that, oh, they are calling from CRA or tax or whatever, just to get your information and to tell you to go and pay money. So many of these attacks could be through email, could be through cell phone, could be through your Facebook, Twitter, or your social media accounts. There's just so much. So you need to know all these things. And when you say hackers or threat actors that we call them, they come in different forms. Threat actors, or sometimes malicious actors, they may just be seeking for thrill. They might just need something to challenge them. And you never know. Most of these threat actors, we have a classification for them. We have we call it 7 layers, threat 1 all the way to 7. And some of these threats could be just somebody in the basement trying to see if they can just try something for fun, thrill seeker. And they can go into groups, terrorist group, trying to hack into a corporation or an agency or even government, trying to derail a nation. Hacktivists. The most popular hacktivist is a group called Anonymous. They might be looking for maybe one kind of ideology, and if this is not what they think, they can use it to expose, to do a lot of damage to your brand or damage to your website. And we also have the cyber criminals that they are after money, profit from anybody that doesn't protect their system, or any company that do not spend money to protect their network. Cyber criminal can steal not just money, they break into banks every day. They can steal proprietary informations. And they can also do what is called ransomware, in which you have to pay them millions to be able to get access to your network back. We also have the nation state that they don't mind to spend. They can spend millions. They can spend as much money. They can spend, put an army to attack any place, any country, or to get anything that they want to have. Some countries does this, but these are what we refer to as cyber threat actors and what motivates them. I don't want to go too much deep into all these things, but these are just what you need to know in cyber security and cloud as well. These slides just mention about the top 5 threat actors with the cyber criminals, the hackers, the non-malicious insider attacks, and nation states. I know you might have a lot of questions. I just have a few more slides to go. But one thing in this field that you need to know is that anything and everything can be compromised. It all depends on how valuable that thing is. In my language, we used to say, Oyibo to da pencil, oloda eraser. So the person that makes pencil is the same person that makes eraser that can delete anything. So in most things, there is front door and there's back door. The way hackers think, if they cannot get into the front door, they get through the back door. If the back door is locked, they can get in through the roof. If the roof is impenetrable, they can get through the ground. They dig the ground. They always find a way. It just depends on how valuable it is. I will like to maybe just end everything here so that I don't take too much time. I will be open for questions. And once again, I wish you good luck in your career. And I'm open to questions for anybody that have questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was very insightful. I like the fact that you brought in the business aspect of it, where you talked about the remuneration for cloud. And I don't know if that's a motivation for anyone, but I believe for a lot of us, like money is it's a good motivation. It's good to know that one can actually earn like that amount of money. And in all honesty, he said he learned, it was a lot more difficult when he actually learned. And I believe with so much resources available to us right now, like this information session that we are having, he talks about the cloud discount vouchers where you can write the exam for free. There's a lot of opportunity out there. So we're just going to go into, I know that obviously it's a very technical area. So I know he tried to not get too much into the technical details, but like you said, there are lots of resources out there. And he's also here to answer your questions. If you have any questions off the top of your head. There are some questions in the chat, which we're going to get to. And there are some people who are raising up their hand to ask questions. So I will start with Andrew. If you can ask your question, and then we will take some of the questions from the chat. Andrew, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Thank you so much. I just really appreciate you, sir, for going through all of this in as much detail as you possibly could. I honestly have so much. My page is full, pretty much. I've just been taking notes here. I just wanted to find out, for someone like myself who's pretty new to the IT space, and I'm looking to transition into the cybersecurity space. And I'm still trying to figure out what area of cybersecurity I would be interested in. I've done so much research so far, and a lot of it is clear, a lot of it is still unclear, but I wouldn't bore you with that. How do I, going from my background working in the financial advisory space, how do I transition into the cybersecurity space with someone with no experience right now in cybersecurity? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. A lot of people fall into your category in a different field, but interested in the cyber and cloud security. I will encourage you to go ahead in this field. You don't need too much background knowledge if you go in the cloud. Cloud security is like having a fresh start. We used to have what we call on-premises infrastructure, but that is now going to be in the past, and now everything is in the cloud. If you can start learning about the cloud, it's like a reset, like a new playing field for somebody with little knowledge. Learn. A lot of people in the data center field, in the IT field of admin and all those things, many of them right now, they are learning just like you will need to learn about the cloud. So I will say, focus on cloud. Start reading up, start learning, talking to people, getting interested in this field. And online, Google, YouTube, you can learn so much and about any and everything. And you can even use YouTube to learn and pass certification exams. Once you have the certification, it's like you have the key to get in. When you get in an employment, don't be too full of yourself. Lay low, learn from experienced people. When I started, I was like a sponge, learning everything and every aspect of cybersecurity. When I left what we call the Security Operations Center, I was now put in charge because of my knowledge and skills to be in charge of cybersecurity for about 1,000 people. Anything and everything. I was in charge of all the cybersecurity stuff. So learn on the job. Learn right now when you are out, when you're trying to get into a job, and get a bit of skills and the key to get in. Once you get in, don't stop learning. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Andrew, I hope that answered your question.
Yes, it totally did. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Someone asked, I know the question was already answered on the chat. Someone asked about the security clearance. Do you need to be a Canadian citizen to apply for the security clearance?
It's a very good question. Yes, you need to be, if you're a permanent resident, you can start the process slowly, but you need to have about 3 years in Canada. Once you're 3 years in Canada, you can start. There's some organization that can employ you without Canadian citizenship. I have some colleagues that work for government agencies. They have some clearance, some form of clearance, and they are working in high sensitive areas. But it helps if you're a Canadian citizen.
So just so that because I'm also asking for those who are not able to ask and for myself. So if you're not a Canadian, you need to have about 3 years of Canadian experience. Canadian residency
Yes.
for you
Yes.
to apply. But that does not mean that even if you don't meet that eligibility requirement, you can't still get some level of clearance, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
If you have, let me add to that. If you have a skill that an agency or an organization or a corporation needs so bad, they will find a way to get you.
Okay. Hello, can I ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Okay. I see, because our moderator seems to be on mute. So
yes.
Sorry, I actually thought I was talking. We have a couple of questions. I'm so sorry. I actually thought that I wasn't muted, but apparently I was. Let me just get one more question from the chat because we seem to have a lot of questions in the chat. Kelvin, was that you that wanted to speak?
No, this is Justin.
Justin. Okay, Justin, just hold on. Someone asked a question. Shegun asked the question. Sorry, Justin, I'll get back to you. He said he has the Azure 900 and that's the fundamental and the security associates certification, but he doesn't have any Canadian or cloud experience. What advice do you have for him?
You see, you are almost there. You've had the key in your hands. You just need to break through. If you don't have Canadian experience, if you have the cloud knowledge, and when you have that certification, if you can start, I'm sure you have an account, you have a cloud account, practice more, get to know more. With that knowledge, with that skill, you will get a job. You will get a job. You need to polish your resume. Even though no kind of experience, start volunteering. For example, volunteer for this group. Volunteer in a lot of stuff, in a lot of ways. Help build something and learn on your own. With that alone in your resume, that speaks volume. And there's job out there. There are organizations that need your skills. You can do migration, migrate their current information into the cloud. Just know your stuff. It's one thing to have certification and it's another thing not to know, but you need to be practicing and to know more about what you learn and what you study and what you pass.
Okay. Thank you. That's helpful. I know someone in this chat talks about having a portfolio. So I assume that, like you said, you have a cloud account. You can play around, maybe do some cybersecurity stuff there. And
exactly.
Get that on your resume.
Yeah. If I may even add, just as I mentioned, there's different areas of cybersecurity. Just learn a tool. Learn one tool in cybersecurity. Learn a vulnerability assessment scanning tool. You can make money without even getting a job. You can provide service to people. You can have your own job, build your own job. Do VA scan for organization. They will pay you thousands.
Wow. There's definitely a lot of questions. Justin, do you want to go now?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Honestly, this session has been very impactful. I'm sure if anyone dropped a pin during the class, we would all hear it. So
Thank you.
Yeah, my question is, I'm also trying to transition into cybersecurity, and I also have cloud on my radar. So maybe at the point I intend to marry cybersecurity with cloud, and so
Good.
that is why I really love this session. But my question today is, like you rightly said, there are so many areas involved in IT security. And one of the questions someone asked in the chat is, do we need to have networking experience to be able to go into cybersecurity? Because I don't come from a core networking background. Of course, being in IT, if you've been in IT long enough, at least I understand lots of concepts in networking, TCP/IP, network, router, switches, firewalls, and everything. But day-to-day management of a network, I have not had that experience. So that is one question I would like to ask. Do I need to have that core knowledge in day-to-day networking to be able to move into cybersecurity? That's my first question. And then the second.
Let me take it one by one, please, so that I don't forget all your questions.
Okay.
It helps if you have a bit of background, but if you don't have a background, it is not a barrier. from what you told me, you know about TCP/IP, you know about routers, you know about switches, firewall, and all. That's all you need to know. Just study more. What you need to know is just go into the cloud field. You can do many things in the cloud. Just like I mentioned earlier, there are different areas. There's what we call separation of duties. In cybersecurity, you don't have to do everything. In most organizations, we have people that all they do is just write codes. We have people in which check codes using software. If all you know is just how to run a software, how to run automated software to check for malwares, to check for any errors in a code, you don't need to know about networking, but you might need to know IP address, but you can learn all these things. In vulnerability assessment, you only need to know a few things. Your target, what do you want to scan? What is the name of the server, or what is the IP address of the server? There's little things you need to know. Once you perfect it, and you can even learn on YouTube.
Okay.
So the sky is the limit.
Sorry, Justin. I know you've asked one question. Well, let's circle back to you just so that everyone gets a chance to ask their question, if that's okay.
Sure.
I'm sorry, Kelvin's hand has been up for a while, so please go ahead.
Yes, thank you, my sister. My hand has been up. It's having muscle pull now, so it's now down. Thank God. Thank you so much, sir, for your introduction and your workshop. I have to be very sincere. I have to confess to everyone in this group. I have taken the AWS Cloud Practitioner, but it hasn't given me a job yet. What I've observed is that each time I go for the interview, they only ask for the AWS solution architect. They say the cloud is just for anybody. It's not that relevant. Just to let people know in the workshop. So my question to you, sir, is this. I want to go into cybersecurity. Which of the areas you did mention, technical security controls, if I remember, operational security controls, management security controls, which area would you say is a key point I should go into if I want to, because I don't want to waste so much time. I just get there, hit the ground running and I'm off. My background is networking. I have Cisco router configuration expertise, ports, source ports, firewalls, DMZ. I have all those stuff as my background, but I want to go into security. So which area would you say is the best for me to hit the ground and I run? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You see, it's good to pass certification. To get a job, you have to be resourceful. You need to have a good resume that will list projects that you've done. The certification will give you a key to get called for interview. When you get to interview, you need to know your stuff. You need to convince the person interviewing that, yes, you know the cloud and you can do something. There are different areas of cloud, just like I have on the screen. The easiest thing on this screen is to create awareness, just like what I'm doing now. I'm providing awareness and training. You can do that. You can do configuration of networks. You can do monitoring. I started cybersecurity by doing monitoring. All I do is I monitor for 12 hours. I have 6 screens that I'm monitoring what is happening from all over the world. Different alerts, different attacks from different systems, different networks. You can do monitoring. Just watch and learn one tool. You need to learn something. My story. I didn't have a certification to start in cybersecurity, but I have the interest, and I learned from white hat hackers, people that stop hackers. And once I gained a bit of knowledge, I applied, I went for the interview, and in the interview, I did a bit of research before the interview, that who are the people interviewing me? And through the research, I find out that the coordinator of the meetup group that I was attending also work in that establishment. And the colleagues, so she's one of the colleagues of the people interviewing me. And the tools I was supposed to use, it's millions of dollar tools. It's what we call SIM. In cybersecurity, there's something called SIM, which is what we use. It's a tool that we use in doing monitoring of events and incidents, security, incident and event management tool. You cannot buy it to use it on your system or to practice it on your system. It costs millions of dollars. And they want someone to operate that tool. So what did I do? I did a lot of research. And through YouTube, I was able to get the dashboard to see how it feels and how to use it. And when I mentioned the name of the coordinator of the meetup, right away, because she's one of their colleagues, they said, oh, did I know her? I said, yeah, we attend the same meetup group. That was the end of the interview. I started the job. I learned the tool right on the job. So you don't really need a lot of experience. You just have to be resourceful and make sure you get a job. It's a key, it's an opportunity, but do everything possible to get the job that you want.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Kelvin, I hope that answered your question.
Yes, it did. Thanks a lot.
Okay, so we have some more questions on the chat. I know some people have answered this, and maybe you also covered it, but you said, what cloud security certifications will you recommend? Product-specific ones like AWS, Azure, and Azure secure ones, or general ones like ISC2 CCSP. I think he's trying to say whether you should get the product-specific certifications or like a general cloud cybersecurity certification. So which is better?
That's a very good question. You see, if you apply for high-level job, advanced job as a consultant, you need non-vendor specific certification, non-vendor specific. However, lately, if you have vendor specific, like AWS or Amazon, all those things, it opens the door. It's help you to get the job as well. They will not push you aside. You will be entertained in a way. There's what we call equivalency. For entry-level position, there are some non-vendor specific certification, which is just like general. There is, I believe, something called Secure Plus or Cyber or something Plus, Security Plus or so. That is one of the easiest way to get into cybersecurity. It's easy certification. However, when you get to the job, you still need to know, you need hands-on of the vendors that the organization is using. When you get to the job, is either Microsoft Azure or AWS. I don't want to be specific, but I would say most organizations right now, the biggest 2 or 3 is Microsoft, Azure, AWS, and Google. If you choose one, I would say choose the one which is most, the common. From my experience, what is common out there and the company that's winning most of the contracts, the government, the agencies, and so on, is Microsoft Azure. It's everywhere. Go for it. But AWS is also not, it's getting out there. It's the biggest, but Microsoft has an edge. I have both the Microsoft Azure and the AWS certification. It helps when you have multi-cloud certification, but you only need one to get through the door.
I still have you in mind, so we will still come back to you. Someone is asking in the chat that what level of security can you get without the 3 years Canadian residency? I guess everybody's curious, like, yeah, please go ahead.
Can you repeat the question one more time, please, so that I can understand what the question is all about?
So the person is asking that what level of security can one, like security clearance, can one get without the 3 years Canadian residency? So what level is it going to be? Is it enhanced, or is it pre-enhanced or something like that?
Okay, let me go to the area. Okay, these are different security levels. You cannot jump the gun. You have to start from the basic. The basic security clearance is enhanced. You cannot go for level 2 when you don't have level 1. So it's step by step. To get any job with the government, any government, you need to have level 1 enhanced clearance. But all I can say is many people have the level 1. When I got my level 2, when I had level 1, I didn't get job much. I go for interview or I don't even get call for more. But once I have the level 2, immediately I have level 2. Everybody wants somebody with level 2. And it is easy to get a job once you have level 2, because not too many people have that clearance level. So it's like you are out of the pack.
Okay, just a random question that came to mind when you were saying that. Are you going to actually put, and I'm just asking for myself, are you actually going to put that on your resume, like level 2 security clearance? Is that something that you would do on a cybersecurity resume? Of
course, my resume have it. And even most organizations, they require not just the level. You need to put your file, security file number, because they want to check it to be sure that you are not just lying or wasting their time. And they want to know when it expires. Most security clearance are maybe 10 years. So it has an end date.
Oh, that's a lot of information that I'm learning, and I'm sure everyone else is learning as well. Another question that someone asked is, what's the recommended path for those interested in the GRC side of cybersecurity?
Okay, can you repeat so I can hear properly, please?
Yes, it says, what's the recommended path for those interested in the GRC side of cybersecurity?
Okay, well, governance and risk management, that is where I'm in right now. You need to be able to know about security controls. I started not in SA&A. I started, as I mentioned, in monitoring in a security operations center. From there, I went into vulnerability assessment scanning. I went into awareness training. I went into incident response. I went into phishing. I went into many areas. But after almost everything, I noticed for consultancy positions, there's so much demand in the SA&A. If you have the GRC certification, it's good. You are almost like in. Register with agencies. There's so many agencies, and one of them will take you on their projects. Now, agencies has what we call vehicles, TA vehicles. You can ride on their vehicle. They won a contract for maybe millions of dollars to supply maybe at the department with a resource in specific field. If you meet that demand, you get paid a lot of money. And as I said before, most of my colleagues, they make 3 figures per hour. And in this period of COVID, working from home, you can stack different projects together at the same time and work different jobs at the same time and make even more money. So my recommendation, learn more about security controls, get a bit more knowledge and experience, register with agencies that have all the jobs. There's so many of them out there. They deal with the government. And once you're in, learn on the job from people that are experienced. And that's all. You will make it.
Thank you so much. We still have a couple of questions, but I just want to let everyone know that if you can, we're currently going unbounded in NIPCA. So I would really appreciate if we can all head over to the Black Tech Entrepreneurship and Career Hub. I'm going to paste the link on the chat. If people can go there and follow, just so that what we are doing with NIPCA, we're able to take this to even more people. I'm sure everyone can agree that this has been it has been an awesome learning opportunity for every one of us. So if you like what you're seeing with NIPCA and you believe that this should go, more people should be able to get this kind of resource and this kind of training and learning, then please go to the Black Tech Hub and follow the page, like the page. We want to make it more inclusive, not just Nigerians, but any people of color. So anyone who is a person of color can be able to learn from this. I know we have a couple of non-Nigerians currently in this session this evening, and thank you. We appreciate you. We welcome you. We're definitely going global. We're going unbounded. So please, everyone, if you can go there and just like the page or follow and see what we're doing and see if there's something that you're interested in being a part of. Okay, thank you very much. Well, we'll do that. We're going to take more questions. So Olivia, Justin, you're still in my mind. We're still coming back to you. Let's take Olivia and then we'll come back to you. Olivia, you can unmute. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Oga John, I greet you especially. Thank you for bringing this to us. The question I want to ask is, with regards to the security clearance, in fact, this week I lost an opportunity with the federal government of Canada because I don't have the right security clearance. So it means a lot just to re-emphasize the message you're trying to bring to everyone. I have all the skill sets. I have everything they require for the job. I really literally say I got the job, but because I don't have the right clearance, I lost it. So it means a lot when you want to get into working for the government, and especially in the sensitive data part of things, What I want to ask is with regards to the security clearance, because I'm working on obtaining one right now. I have a security clearance which is provincial, it's not the federal. I thought it cuts across, so I never knew the provincial clearance is different from the federal clearance. So the question I want to ask is, do I need a sponsor to get a secret security clearance? And if I do, what is the work around it? Or can I actually use my incorporation to apply for the security clearance and get it?
Very good question. I'm sorry you didn't get the job because of security clearance. Sponsorship of security clearance is done by agencies. The question that you ask, when I had my enhanced, I was very angry as well. And I attended a seminar with some government people that I need sponsorship. I need the government to sponsor. I need someone to sponsor me. I couldn't get someone to sponsor me for the clearance. The agency at that time decided, okay, that they will sponsor me. But before they did, I was able to get the agency that sponsored me for the enhanced clearance. They were now able to let me go for the second level. The agency that sponsored me for both clearance, they were not popular in the field that I'm in, cybersecurity. And unfortunately, even though they sponsored me for all those clearance, I was not able to work for them on any of the projects. I now almost on a regular basis work with other agencies that what they do now is duplicate the clearance that I have with the initial agency for me to be able to work on their project that they have with the government. Using your corporation to apply for clearance, it helps, but I will rather say you should just make it yourself, not your corporation. Get yourself registered, because what is involved in secret or clearance is they will do a research. You will fill form that lists all your relatives, your parents, your siblings, your cousins, where they are living. If it's anywhere in the world, they will do the research. They will find out more about you. It will be on their record. When they are satisfied that, yes, you seem to be clean, they will check the police station anywhere in the world if you have any record, bad record of fraud or whatever. If you have a clean slate, if it takes them 6 months to do that, then they will come back that, yes, you have the clearance, and it will last for maybe 10 years. Some of my friends that have the next level 3, top secret, which is what is needed in some organization that handles defense, what they went through, they don't like going through the third level or the top secrets. It's like you have to expose all about your personal stuff and your orientation and all kind of stuff. But that's what they told me. I'm still thinking of maybe going to the third level. So I recommend you use your own personal self to do the clearance, and to get sponsorship, just contact any of the agency. Tell them you want to work, you want to get contract through them, and you want them to sponsor you, they will not refuse you if they see you have skills.
Many thanks.
Wow.
Thank you.
Okay. Lots of questions. Lots of questions. Okay, Victor. Yes, there are lots of questions on security clearance. We know. Victor, please, can you go? We're gonna come back.
Okay. Okay. Hi. Thanks for the session. It's really nice. And yeah. So I have a quick question. So I do work as an IT analyst in a company that does a contract with the government, and I've been working for this company for like 5 years. So they won a contract for the government, and they, at some point, when I started the contract, they required me to do a level 2 secret check. So, but my question here is because the company was the one that sponsored the level 2 secret check, and so they sponsored for it. They did pay for everything, and the question I'm trying to ask here is after going through the process, because you highlighted that on the form you have to fill everything about your family, even the disease and all that. I went through all that, right? But the question I'm trying to pass here, because they didn't get back to me with the result. I did have the result, but I was still on the job. Despite the whole process, I didn't get my result of the the level 2 secret clearance. So I wasn't sure if I passed or not. And also, say, for example, if I leave the job and looking for something else, how do I have to do another level 2 secret check? Or since I don't know the state of my clearance check.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long when do you fill all the forms and you submit all the secret clearance form? How long has it been?
It's been like, I would say 3 years or thereabout, 3 to 4 years thereabout. And they never got back to me, and I'm still on the job.
Didn't you ask?
Well, I asked a couple of my colleagues that because everyone in my team, they did undergo that process as well, right? And they're still on the job, so they kind of like told me if they didn't get back to you and you're still on the contract, that means it's still ongoing. But I did have a question with my boss or something. So I think they said for the level 2 secret clearance, you need to have stayed in Canada for like about 10 years or something.
No. There's nothing like that. No.
Okay. I'm not sure if that was a clause anyways, but yeah. So they didn't get back to me, and I didn't bother asking, the status and all that.
You see, I used to work for Rogers as a project manager on fiber optics. At that time, I've been working just for private companies like Nortel, Sienna, and fiber optics company all over the world. Then I said, okay, let me set you now. I want to work on fiber optics within Canada. They got a lot of contracts with a lot of government departments. And in my team, most of the technicians that has to do the work, the company sponsored them, and any job they're applying for, they will put their name with their security clearance number, and they will get a job. I was not ready. I didn't have it at that time. So I was not put on government jobs, but I was just doing the job on businesses and so on. If you work on a government project, obviously you are riding over the company's security clearance, or they might have already have security on your name and they didn't tell you. But if I'm you, I will go to whoever is responsible to find out that, do I have security clearance completed? Do I have at this time a clearance? And what is my clearance number? Or if you have access to some of the department that handle all the contracts, find out when they are going for contract if your name is on the list and if you have a number on the list. Okay. That's what I would do. Find out more information. But if you've been doing for 10 years or if you've applied a long time, obviously you might have it already and you don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, wow. Our time is actually fast spent, and we still have lots of questions and more hands up. I'm waiting on Osita. Osita, I know you're there. Sir, I know your time is very valuable to you, and we don't want to overshoot our time. But are you okay to take a couple more questions, or are you?
Yes, to help people, I'm available. You see, I want more of our people in government. I want our people. We are not too many. I want us to dominate. Let's be in this field. Let's dominate this field.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. You know, honestly, I know I'm not working in the government, but this session this evening has been very informative for me. Like, maybe I'm going to start thinking about working for the government. Okay.
It's a secure job.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
If you work as a consultant, the sky is the limit. You make unlimited.
Wow. So someone is still curious. Someone's asking, please, could you give us examples of some of the agencies that work for the government?
There's so many. There's some that I use a lot of them. They call me. If you have a good profile on the LinkedIn, they will go after you every day. Is it okay to give names? Should I give names of these organizations?
Thank you so very much, Mr. John. So maybe what I will recommend would be Josh, the moderator will touch base with you after the session.
Okay.
Yeah, she will touch base with you after the session so that you can communicate the names to her, and
okay.
she can share that internally within the group. Okay.
Thank you. Nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be And another question I wanted to ask: would it be okay for us to get the slides in case anybody wants the slides? Sure,
I can share it. You are the gatekeeper.
Okay, let's take a couple more questions. Akinwale, please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. So, thank you, Mr. Adeyefa, for your insightful deliverable this evening. So, my question is this: I currently work as a consultant for one of the government agency.
Good, great.
Yeah, thank you. And I have a security clearance that they did for me.
Good.
So, but then the agency that I got the job with, got the contract with, they gave me I did a secret clearance with that agency, right? I have the file number. So,
yes.
But then the agency was saying I have to do another secret clearance with the Public Service Canada. That the secret clearance from the Public Service Canada is more recognized across all agencies. That the one I currently have with my current government agency is only restricted to the agency. So I want to get a clarification on that. Is that correct?
That's a good question. Yeah. You need to understand how it works. Every agency that wants to give you a job, they will come to you that we want you to do, or do you have, they first of all ask, do you have any clearance? You can say yes or no. But if you do, If you have a file already, you don't have to do a new one. What they do is they will copy. They had to make a request through the PSPC for a copy of your security clearance. And it takes about 2 days. You fill a form, and then they will get a copy of it. They will use it to apply for you for the new project or the new job. So you don't have to do a new one. You don't do a new one. The new one you can do is the next level, either secret or top secret or NATO secret.
Okay, wow. Olivia, sorry, I know, Olivia, your hand has been up for a while. Have you asked a question?
I'm sorry, I never knew it was still up. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, I'm listening.
Oh,
Okay.
Josh, can I go ahead? Because we had some dead air there. So I was just wondering if I could ask my question.
I'm not sure who is speaking.
Justin.
Okay, Justin. Okay, you go and then Joseph, and then we wrap up.
Okay, can I go ahead?
Go ahead.
Okay, sir. Yeah, thank you very much for this is just the second question I had earlier on. For somebody who is going into IT security, like you gave us your own example, you said you started out on a security operations center. Is it absolutely necessary for somebody who is going into cybersecurity or IT security for the first time to start out in a security operations center? If yes, why? If no, why?
I only tell you about how I got into the field. You don't have to go through SOC. I have several colleagues in US. Some of their first job in the field is also in the SOC. In the SOC, probably the easier job is to just do monitoring, to see what is going on and to do logs. But you don't have to. You can start on anything. You can start on some of the areas of cybersecurity that I mentioned, if it's either the vulnerability assessment, or if it's the incident response, or if it's the awareness training and all those things. So you can start anywhere. You don't have to start at the SOC.
Okay, well, just that. I guess that's what Mr. John is trying to say. Just that.
Thank you.
Okay, I hope that answered your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
Joseph, please go next, and after that, please, we will be rounding up after that. There are lots more questions, so definitely, sir, I will be sending you a list of more questions. This is really insightful. Thank you so much. Joseph, please go ahead.
Mr. John, thank you so much for your presentation today. I had my questions is just two, and they are very simple and straightforward questions. First one is, can you please just go into a little bit more detail as to what the requirement is for the top secret clearance? That's my first question. Second question is, if I want to check and verify if how safe my credit card is there any tool or resources to see if my credit card has been hacked, or if anyone has made any attempt to hack my credit card? How can I check on that? Is there any online tool or resource where I can go to check that, please?
I like your question. I think I will give an additional stuff if the group management will allow me. I think you can learn a lot from this. I want to demonstrate. It's not about your credit card, but if you give me your email address, I can tell if your accounts are being traded in what we call the deep underground of cybersecurity, deep web. If hackers are trading with all your passwords and all your credentials, and maybe your credit card. If you give me your email address, I can do the demonstration right now.
I'm sorry, I just want to, I know I've watched the previous presentation where you've done that. So I'm already familiar with that. My main question is the credit card one, because I'm just very cautious about my credit card and my debit card since I watched your the previous presentation that you've done on a different platform. But I just want to, I'm specific with my credit card. Like if I want to check if my credit card has been compromised, like is there any tool out there I can use to check?
Well, credit card. The only way, the door to get there is your email address. Your email address. With your email address, then we can find out if your credit card has been compromised, but not with your credit card number. I cannot go with your credit card number and to check, only your email address. So the answer is, at this time, there is no tool that you can use to see if, that I'm aware of, if your credit card has been compromised.
Okay, thank you. How about the top secret one? I'll just need to get more information as to what requirements are for the top secret clearance.
There is none. If you qualify for the secret, just go ahead for the top secret. It's just that you have more questions where you've lived for the past 10 years. And if it's outside the country, they will go and find out more about you. They will ask for more relatives. They will ask for more of your orientation. Some people that went through it was asking, they were saying maybe they put like machine to find out if they're lying, like lie detector tests or all those things, but I don't see that yet. I think there's nothing specific that you need to accomplish. You can just go for the top secret.
Okay, wow, man, that is a lot. Osita, please, I'm still waiting for you. And just don't worry, they have taken, if it's compromised, you'd have collected all the money in your credit card by now. But I understand that right now it's with lots of information being on the web, we're all scared about how secure our information. Yeah, so obviously it's a valid concern. It's a valid concern. Osita, are you still there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Osita?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, great. This has been a great session. Somebody called me now.
Yes, Remy.
Okay, yeah, Remy, what is that?
Yeah, please, if you don't mind, some of us would like to see the demonstration that Mr. John would like to show us.
Oh, okay. So you want to provide your email?
You see, maybe we should have another session for this.
Remy, you want to provide your email address? Mr. John, how many minutes?
There are so many email addresses. People have already provided their email address.
So how many minutes will that take, Mr. John?
Well, maybe 5 minutes.
Oh, so if it's 5 minutes, we can do that.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, George, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you.
Give me a few minutes, please. I have to share a different screen. Just give me a few minutes to get ready.
Okay, Remy, do you want to provide your email, or can any volunteer want to provide their
I've done that. Remy 2005.
There are so many emails already popping up.
Okay.
Make sure it's your email you're providing. Don't go and provide the email of somebody else.
Okay. I will need the email address to check.
Okay, I am sending that to you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Just give me a minute. I'm trying to see where the chat button is.
Okay, so while Mr. John is doing that, Josh and Remy, can we take a peek?
Yes,
this has been a great session for sure, and it makes sense for us to take a snapshot with Mr. John while he gets ready to to perform the magic. Guys, please feel free to share your video, share your screens.
I'll stop sharing right now.
Remy, please get ready and capture us. We would like to take a picture with Mr. John. This has been an impactful and great session indeed. Fantastic, great. Can we have more people turn on their videos? Fantastic, lovely. Look at my coach, Banji. How far now? Yeah, good.
Oh, it's good to see you, man.
Man, you for life.
This is a great session. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Mr. John.
Yeah. Sita, do you mind if I make a comment, please?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much for putting this together. I just want to testify to Mr. Adeyefa's session today. I left Nigeria as the director of Global Network Operations Center. And when I moved back into Canada, I was going into cyber. He's my very good friend. That's Mr. Adeyefa. I linked up with him. He took me to some meetups where I get more exposure. One thing I was trying to avoid is I didn't want anything hands-on techie thing. It's been a while I left techie area, so I was trying to avoid that like a plague. And interestingly, I discovered there's an area in cybersecurity which my previous experience of a director of Global Network Operations Center will fit in. So I became an incident manager for a Crown Corporation here in Canada. And it's been an awesome journey all through. So I just wanted to say everything he has said is valid. Secondly, even if you don't have the techie background and you're afraid, do I know how to code this or how to do that? There are a lot of areas within cybersecurity that you can leverage. And every experience you're bringing from wherever you're coming from are really going to count for you. Thank you.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so very much for that testimony. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Pastor Femi, I have to thank you so much for giving the testimony. I believe many of us could, in the next few months, could be just like you, to find themselves in the Crown Corporation and working for the government in cybersecurity. So thank you very much, Pastor Femi. Really appreciate your testimony.
Yeah.
Remy, are we good?
Yes.
We're good. Okay.
Okay, we are good. Fantastic. Thank you so very much, Remy, and thanks everyone for sharing your videos. While we get Mr. John to get ready, Mr. Femi, one of the things that we are also going to encourage you as well is paying it forward. Just like you shared the testimony, there are a lot of people in this community today that are looking for direction. So many people are actually looking for direction. So, and that is really, at the core of the vision of NIPCA. We need to build a strong viral community, through which we are able to support one another. Information is power, especially in this place. And that is why I love Mr. John's presentation today. Not just the presentation, but his passion. There was a comment he made at some point, and he was talking about the fact that he wants to see more of people like this in the space of that cybersecurity. He wants to see more people, because at the table, when you are seated at the table, how many Black people are you seeing? How many Nigerians are you seeing?
No one.
So those are challenges. But do we have Nigerians here? We have thousands. Do they have this information? Many don't have the information. So that's why a community like this, we want to see how we can empower, encourage ourselves, and also see how we can pay it forward. Mr. John has created the space for you, then you need to create the space for someone else.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you, and I've been doing that. If you're going to Export Development Canada today, I've had to do reference for a lot of Nigerians, even though I don't know them from Adam. But the fact that I know this is a Nigerian name, are more interested because, like Mr. Adeyefa rightly said, the more the merrier. If you have more of your people around, then you begin to even intimidate the white folks that thinks, even though they don't know what you know, but they think it's their country then and all that. So I totally agree with you, and I've been doing that a lot. I mentor a lot of new immigrants who want to go into cyber environment, and sincerely, it's been an awesome journey.
Fantastic, fantastic. That is great. Thank you so very much for your kindness. Thank you. Remy, could you share NIPCA's join us link? I'm not sure Mr. Femi is part of our community yet. Mr. Femi, are you?
I'm part of it. I'm on the training, on the CISSP training with.
Okay, how can you be in the community? We don't know that you are part of us. You coming through the back door that Mr. John was talking about, or you coming through the roof?
Well, I love to actually lie low, but because Mr. Adeyefa is my good friend and everything has been said today, I wanted to buttress it so that people know that it is actually possible.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. But Remy, please still post the link on the chat for some other members, some of the audience that are yet to join the community so that they're able to click the link and join. Thank you so much. Mr. John, please go ahead with your magic. We are waiting.
Okay. Now, I was able to check one or two of the email that was given to me. It looks clean, but I will share with everybody right now how to do it. I will share my screen. Just give me a minute to share the correct screen.
We should have tried Oliver's own. Oliver's own will not look clean. Oliver, let's try your own. I don't trust you.
Okay. First of all, Ajibodura, can you please, like I tried to copy, it's not possible to copy from Zoom. Can you maybe just tell me the email address so I can check right now?
Okay, thank you. Ajibodu, PHAEL at gmail.com.
Okay, this is a website that anyone can go to check their own email. Oh, there's a problem. Yeah, you've been compromised.
Wow.
The first one is there's a website in 2020, last year actually, called CTO Day. They got hacked and 23,000 websites that they own. And part of your email address and password, they have it already, and people are buying email and your password. So I think I will recommend change your password for your email address. It's been compromised.
Thank you very much.
Can we have maybe someone else that might provide their email address?
Yeah, can I go ahead with mine?
Sure, just spell it to me, please.
Okay, R as in rabbit, U as in umbrella, B as in basket, another B as in basket, I as in ice cream, E as in elephant, S as in Susie, N as in Nancy, and G as in girl at yahoo.com, rubysng at yahoo.com.
Is this correct? Rubysng.
Rubysng at yahoo.com.
Okay.
I can't see.
Hello? Okay. The same thing. You also been compromised.
Oh.
And you have LinkedIn.
Yes, I do.
And you have Verification IO.
Yeah, you're right. That's the brand. That's the brand. Then you
have LinkedIn for a long time. In 2016, about 164 mails, email addresses, and password of LinkedIn were exposed, and yours were one of them. And also in 2019, there is an exposure. Your employer your location, your job title, your name, your phone number. It's all on the social media. And then there's another website that you register on. It has your date of birth, it has your email address, your employer, your gender, male or female, your location, your IP address, everything.
Wow.
It's people on the dark web. They can buy your information and use it to compromise your account. So what I recommend is just change your password and try to go for what we call the 2FA or multi-factor authentication.
Authentication. Oh, okay, sir. Wow. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
I have similar issue.
Also, if you find yourself in this situation, I'll recommend one thing. Try to have 2 sets of email addresses. Use one for any and everything, and use one special email for critical things and critical. Just keep it, reserve it. Don't use it for anything. Don't use the email to register for anything and everything. Use one common and preserve one. That is the best way to save yourself. But the one that is compromised, use 2-factor authentication, either your phone, there's some authenticator that you can download, and all kinds of stuff.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome.
Wow. This has turned it from a training to a participatory session to I've actually gone to check mine too, and definitely I'm going to do some password changing myself.
That's good.
I'm going to hand over to Osita right now. Thank you so much, Mr. John. Can we show Mr. John some love in the chat? He has been awesome this evening. I've learned a lot. I have learned so much. And you have now a tool for you to check if you are safe or in quote secure, if your passwords are secure. I'm not seeing anything in the chat. Come on, guys. He's done well. He's done well. Even if you guys don't see it, I'm going to say it. And then Osita. Okay, now it's coming in. Thanks a million. Osita, we are ready for you to do your thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, George, for the